as we know today, is a Puerto Rican genre that was created in Puerto Rico as a space to understand the way in which we understand Puerto Ricanness and Latino-ness, and then lots of hip-hop influences with imagery, with message, such as, when I say message, I mean songs talking about social ills, political repression, violence. And so, although Puerto Ricans created it in an island context in Puerto Rico, as it's being spread out, people appreciate the message that it's giving, and they can relate to it, such as the non-Spanish-speaking Puerto Ricans in mainland USA, as I mentioned, or other Latino groups who may not even know anything about Puerto Rican culture, but they understand the fight. You know, they join the struggle. I think that it's starting off, it's like any sort of artistic expression. If you look at a painting or you look at a poem, it's the author or the painter's expression of his emotions. And so these artists, their songs are a canvas for publicizing what's going on in the island, what's going on in their lives, and basically they're sharing it with the world and adding it to, you know, a beat that everyone can enjoy.
Como fanático, que el reggaetón hay que verlo en términos de su contexto social y en términos de una historia. El reggaetón no es como que algo nuevo que empezó hace 3 años, ni siquiera es algo totalmente nuevo que empezó hace 10 años. Es una música y una cultura urbana en general que tiene que ver con todo lo que les rodea, tiene que ver con otros géneros latinos, latinoamericanos, tiene que ver con otras músicas del Caribe, con la música jamaiquina, y hay toda una serie de elementos que nutren al reggaetón que usualmente no se piensan sobre ello. Pero el propósito de hoy era que estas personas que estaban hablando pues pudiesen hablar de todo ese contexto que hace el reggaetón tan rico como es. O sea, no es simplemente esta música de moda y más nada. Yo vengo escribiendo sobre reggaetón desde antes que se llamara reggaetón. Yo escribí mi tesis de maestría sobre lo que en ese momento se llamaba rap underground en Puerto Rico, pero que era en realidad reggaetón, solo que no se llamaba reggaetón. Yo escribía para periódicos en Puerto Rico también, de San Juan Star, Claridad, Diálogo, así que así fue que yo empecé. Después, eso fue a principios de los 90, después me mudé a Estados Unidos y he estado bregando más con el hip hop en inglés y los puertorriqueños dentro de la historia del hip hop. Pero dentro de eso, o sea, el reggaetón siempre ha estado metido, no es que sean dos zonas totalmente separadas. Los puertorriqueños como van y vienen todo el tiempo entre la isla, distintos estados, pues inevitablemente yo escribí un libro que se llama New Yorkers from the Hip Hop Zone, y en ese libro pues tuve que mencionar el reggaetón. No era lo que yo estaba enfocando, pero era una de las zonas que yo dije, mira, esto no es lo que yo voy a tocar, porque yo lo que voy a tocar es lo que es más hip hop como tradicional. Ahora estoy editando un libro que se llama Reading Reggaeton, que es una compilación de distintas personas que están escribiendo sobre el reggaetón. Así que vamos a escribir algunos capítulos, vamos a reimprimir cosas que ya se publicaron también, pero básicamente reunir en un libro todo el material que hay, o la mayor parte del material que hay, para que la gente tenga, o sea, no hay ningún libro de reggaetón en estos momentos.
Mainly I was trying to do more of a musically focused presentation that was really trying to trace audibly the connections between reggaeton and Jamaican reggae, and in particular focusing on the dembo rhythm, and you know, which has a very strong presence in a lot of contemporary reggaeton, but also played a very formative role in the way that reggaeton came together in the 90s in Puerto Rico, and of course, you know, directly comes out of a Jamaican dancehall recording. I like the way it brings all that together. I'm an ethnomusicologist. Ethnomusicology is the study of music in culture and society, so really looking at the significance that music plays as a force in people's lives. And my particular sort of focus within that is the relationship between American and Caribbean music, or specifically Jamaican and American music, but increasingly I've been interested in reggaeton as a sort of another manifestation of this kind of circulation between the United States and the Caribbean, Jamaica and Puerto Rico and Panama and Cuba, and just brings a lot of threads together. Dismissed hip-hop as a trend or a fad over and over again, and we've seen that hip-hop has gone nowhere. I mean, it's only gotten bigger and bigger, really. Reggaeton also, I think, I mean, it would be hard to dismiss it as a trend at this point. It's been around for 10, 15 years. Maybe not always called reggaeton, you know, but you can definitely trace it to the reggae en español that was being made in Panama and being made in New York in the early 90s. And I mean, I don't see it going anywhere right now, you know. We may have seen a lull in sort of some of the mainstream exposure of it, but at the same time, it's only gotten more and more popular over the last few years. And so now you've got kids all over the United States, all over the Caribbean, all over Central and South America, really embracing that sound. So I think it's going to be around for a while to come yet. When I hear reggaeton, I always hear a lot of reggae and hip-hop in it. And I also hear the way that it kind of overlaps with other sorts of Latin musics, especially salsa and son and merengue and bachata. Not always so explicitly, although I do think that more recently you have, we hear a lot more producers and artists embracing or trying to make these more explicit fusions. So you do hear on Daddy Yankee or on Tego's album a salsa kind of song, or I've actually been hearing a lot more of bachata, you know, showing up in the songs, usually as samples, you know, that recognizable guitar sound with the reggaeton beat still underpinning it, but sort of bringing in some other genres. So I mean, I definitely see those kind of fusions as an increasing thing, but I feel like reggaeton is a very hybrid music to begin with.
For someone who doesn't know reggaeton, what artists would you say they should listen to specifically? Is there an artist specifically that you see that's you know mixing the music styles and that's doing?
Well, for my money, the artist who's both sort of doing the most interesting things musically as well as lyrically, what he's saying and so forth, is Tego Calderon. I mean, if you listen to a Tego album, it's not just the same sort of Looney Tunes beats over and over again. He does have some of those, you know, more typical reggaeton beats, but then he'll have some hip-hop production on there, he'll have a salsa song on there, he'll have some straight-up bomba on there, various other kinds of things. So I definitely recommend Tego. You know, a lot of the other guys I feel like are still very much so in the industry that it becomes very much about doing whatever is hot, whereas I feel like Tego is a bit more adventurous in terms of what he brings into his sound.
Is there anything else that I didn't ask you that you wanted to say? From your message today?
Well, I guess my message today would be, you know, I was trying, it was supposed to be a closer look at reggaeton, and I said I was trying to perhaps provide a closer listen to reggaeton, because I think when we listen closely to what's in it, we don't just hear, you know, synthesizers and drum machines. We can hear a lot of different musical traditions in there, and I think it's important to ask questions about what does it mean for these guys in Puerto Rico, or what does it mean for these guys in New York, or wherever it might be happening, to be embracing these different styles, and what is that expressing about them in their communities and